Hello and welcome to the shop. I'm Jared and this is the Questionable Garage, and this is the 1975, not 71. We fixed it through the episode, but not all of you made it that far. 1975 Ford F-100 Dentside that I borrowed from a friend to do a quick weekend revival on it. I ran over to a pole barn and winched this thing out after emptying it out, drug it back to my shop, and tried to get it running. The engine was locked up tighter in Fort Knox.
Nothing.
And we pulled the heads off, determined it was not going to be any good, so we took some time to wash it up. But also during that time, we had been keeping it indoors, trying to keep it hidden to get it all done before my friend would notice it was missing. Turns out I had 4 days before that happened. I got a phone call, and I was asked, Jared, do you know where my truck is? And I tried to play coy at first up until the exact moment he was about to hang up the phone to call the sheriff. We almost got the cops called on us. So he knew the truck was going to get running, but he didn't quite know what and how and why and everything going on. And that's where I can finally kind of talk about the motivation of getting it all running. Holley reached out to me to help promote their new Sniper bundle packages. It's easy. You jump on the website, you tell it what engine you have, you click a couple options, and boom, you get everything. You get the Sniper, you get your ignition system, you get a fuel system, and a couple upgrades if you want it, and you save a little bit of money doing it. That was the whole point. A quick and easy Sniper install turned into an entire mini restoration on a truck. Now, if I was the smart garage, I would have just brought the Ram Charger in. We know it runs, it would have been easy, and I would have had EFI on my truck. But this is the questionable garage. So, when I was under a time crunch, we grab a completely questionable unknown vehicle and hope for the best. So, with all of that out of the way, you may notice the truck looks catastrophically different. It's a little bit cleaner. The brakes are kind of shiny. The glass is a little less broken. Well, that's because this is the end of the episode. Everything is done. Why did we do it this way? Well, partially because I'm a terrible YouTuber and much more of a mechanic. We were under an extreme time crunch. I promised my friend he was driving the truck to his very first car show on the 24th. June, right? No, it was the 24th of May to the AMD Eat and Greet, Meet and Eat, something and another, where we get a whole lot of fun cars together, and that gave us less than 8 days to do a whole lot of work. So, let me get you guys caught up to speed with everything that's happened. First, I yanked out the old rusted 302 and tried getting it to turn. With fire. And then more fire. And finally, violence. And then I took a drive out past Royston to pick up this fine specimen.
It's trying. I mean, it's been sitting for a very, very, very long time. I feel like this is going to be a good engine. Let's test it. I think it's good. Now we just need to extract from there.
After magically waving my hand, the engine was out of the van. Honestly, the footage was mostly the back of my head and grunting, so I left that out. I began tearing both engines down to harvest what I needed. Once torn down, I started rebuilding the cylinder heads. With the machine shop weeks out and a car show in 4 days, we had to do it all ourselves. Also not filmed was 14 rounds of pressure washing the truck and all of these parts. I also took inventory of the state of our timing chain. It's bad. Then it was time to start throwing it all back together. I got Ridge and the welding MIG to stop by to help get the engine back in. At this point, I've hurt my back and thought I could do it alone. Sure glad they stayed to help. With the engine in, we relocated to the MIG shop for the thrash to happen. One day, and only the Holley Sniper to install, the fuel system, brakes, wiring. Easy! All right, we're gonna go ahead and prime up our oil system. We got a socket going down to the oil pump drive. This rotates anti-clockwise, so I've already started. Cheated a little bit, but you'll hear the drill bog down a little bit. Lets us know we got oil flowing. You can kind of hear the drill has a load on it. Those rags definitely aren't there because someone spilled a bunch of oil. Actually, yeah. I did that. So we're going to run this a little bit, prime it up, then we can get that distributor dropped in, make our lines, replace the master, bleed that, wire the sniper, put the radiator in. We got about 15 hours before the car show. All right, so there's a lot to update. One, as you can tell, we're not in my shop. That's because a company still won't respond to phone calls or emails when I'm trying to buy parts from them to get the Toyota off the lift. So our buddy, the welding MIG, offered his lift as long as it didn't interfere with his operations. And it's only mostly totally interfered with his operation. And he's over here helping as well. But to get you updated on everything on the truck, we have a car show in 16 hours to be at. The exhaust looks amazing. We have no fuel tank, and that is because we've got the old one out. Randy's been working on remaking all of our brake lines. I need to bore these holes out a little bit. You can't see anything that we've done on the top side, but I did want to showcase two things real quick before we put the fuel tank in. One, everyone thinks of AMD as the place to get good sheet metal. They just now are using the slogan, they're more than sheet metal. We get glass rubbers, and we're now getting fuel tanks. And off camera, some comments were made that this is probably one of the nicest replacement tanks that they've seen. We've run into problems with Chevy tanks where just installing them breaks them from other manufacturers. This is almost thicker metal, than the original OEM. It comes with this really nice coating, and it was absolutely affordable. Now, AMD is a partner of the channel, and I got it, but even if they weren't giving it to me, we were gonna go buy it because it wasn't even worth risking a bad fuel tank for the cost of this thing. It was, I think retail's under 120 bucks. So we've got that on. We also have our fuel lines done, our bulkhead fitting, and our little leads set, because part of that new Sniper bundle option makes it so easy to get everything you need. A lot of our ignition parts are already in the engine bay, but one of the most confusing parts can be the fuel pumps and fuel lines and the fuel fittings and everything you need there. Well, they make it easy. You just click add fuel pump and fuel lines, and you get everything. You get your fuel pressure regulator, you get your fuel pump, you get your pre-filters and your post-filters, or pre and post, 20 feet of vapor guard. Basically, you get the whole package for about the cost of the vapor guard. So the bundle is just making it very streamlined, knowing we have got everything we need. So I'm out of GoPro batteries. We're trying to charge one up, and we got a lot of work to do. So I'll just try to remember to update you as we're going along. But again, nice exhaust, O2 sensor, front brakes done. We got to get our master cylinder in. We got spark plug wires. It's got all of its fluids in it, and they're staying in it, which is probably the biggest win. We only have, you know, a lot of wiring to go and a small amount of plumbing, so we're doing good. Oh, Larry, you can be in the shot of your first start, right? Key on. Yeah. We got to still need sniper reset with TPS wizard. So key back on. I'll get to the wizards. All right. That's kind of uneventful. In the morning test drive. It accelerates decent. It is stopping. The electrical system is an absolute catastrophic nightmare. Need to adjust the idle air park. Coming to a stop, it's stalling semi-consistently, as in 80%. Third gear shift linkage. It's around, but it hauls. Like, this is a really fun truck, and it sounds really good. Kent did a good job on the mufflers. Thank you, Mr. Big. But in less than 4 hours, it's on its way to the first car show. First drive in 25 years. All right. 'Alright, we've made it through the show, the weekend. We've got a little sleep, and now we need to knock out a couple small things so we can get more miles on the truck and see what other electronics are going to try to come back to life. And the first thing we need to do, which is something you should do before your first drive, we just We didn't have time. That is confirming and setting a static timing and making sure the distributor is positioned correctly. That plastic cap that you get with the Holley, it's a good starting point, but you do need to make a manual confirmation that 10 degrees is 10 degrees, 20 degrees is 20 degrees. And I think we're a little bit on the advanced side based on its hot start. So what we do, we go into the tuning, basic timing, and we're gonna set a static timing of 10 degrees, and we're gonna go out and under the hood and double check the distributor there. So set, there we go. So now it should be firing at 10 degrees. So then we take our timing light here and check our timing marks. Now, you'll notice a slight shake. Ford guys have already figured out what that's from. In 82, apparently, Ford went from 28-ounce externally balanced engines to 50-ounce externally balanced engines. And given that being a 92, we have a 50-ounce balancer and flywheel on the way that we're just gonna go ahead and take care of off camera. The little bit of driving we're doing, we're okay, but you don't wanna do too much because you'll tear up your crank bearings if you keep on going. So that's kind of a bummer, having to pull the transmission back apart. The crank pulley's not too bad to do, but we'll get that dialed in. But right now we're gonna work on timing. Let's see. I don't know if you can see, I Sharpied some marks down there. It's kind of hard, we're shaking a lot. Come on, there we go. So that black mark on the left, that's 0 degrees. Black mark on the right, that's 10 degrees. So that's pretty much dead on. Also, things you do want to set, you know, rev limiter. I don't know that 20,000 RPM is appropriate for a stock valve train Ford 302. I'm gonna go with no. 20,000, a little too much. Doing the test drive and starter failed. When I went to head back to the shop, that's just how it goes sometimes. So I'll have to get a new starter. Also, we did put a throttle return spring on it, and the air cleaner was catching the throttle linkage, so we're gonna fix both of that and then have a truck ready for miles. Well, the visit to pick up our leftover parts went a lot longer than expected. We sorted out our sticking throttle. That was a mixture of not enough air cleaner spacers and adding a throttle return spring. Doing that was pulling the blades completely closed, which meant we had to readjust idle ever so slightly, but I think we've got that perfect. And then I went to leave, and the starter melted. Anyone who's experienced burnt electricals, oh, it drives so much better now. You're able to just idle along. Way better. But anyone who's experienced burnt electrical smells, especially a starter, yeah. Went to several stores that said they had them in stock. Nobody actually did. So I gotta tweak. So the throttle's closing. Now it's the idle settings. I need to go back on what we were doing there, I think. We'll get it. It's not fast, but it's quick and a lot of fun. And the most important thing was talking with a friend after he got to drive it, experiencing his first car show ever in his truck that he's not driven in 25 years. It's pretty awesome. So there you have it. We were successful. We were able to get this thing together and driving, and we watched someone be able to drive their childhood truck for the first time in a quarter century to their very first car show, where people enjoyed it. There is an amazing story about this truck. It looks pretty good. It's still a little rough around the edges. We need to get some dents knocked out of it, a little bit more paint polishing done, maybe a different set of wheels. Who knows? Get it lower to the ground. Comment below, maybe give some build ideas. What should my friend do with it in the future? Is it going to be on the channel again? Maybe when it's all done. There's just a lot of little punch out things, getting the rest of the electronics to come to life, where realistically, I've got this truck, the Ferrari truck, all of my cars to work through. It became way more involved than expected, but that's what projects do. So when it's done, we'll probably do a quick feature on it, but that's for a time later on. But right now, I have to extend, again, a huge thank you to Autometal Direct. Them jumping on board, getting us the fuel tank and glass. While it may seem small, it made a huge difference in getting this truck up and running. And hopefully you guys realize that if you're working on these classics, again, Autometal Direct is more than just sheet metal. That fuel tank was one of the best we have ever used. Really, better than the original. So big thank you to them. They made this absolutely possible. And of course, Holley with the complete sniper kit. We've got this thing running motor fuel injection, runs great, brings a lot of smiles. That first startup, I mean, literally we answered the questions and it fired right up. So that worked out amazing. I'm excited to see this thing get a whole lot more miles put on it, and I know it's going to. Again, the whole drive going to Autometal Direct, I was leading the way for our trip down. I had Earl on the trailer, who's now at the Miles Through Time Museum. We're taking the season off, don't want to risk crashing him and making him ineligible to be a Hot Wheels. But I kept seeing the truck fall behind me. I was worried it was breaking down, and then suddenly, no, he was just making some room to do some full throttle rips. It's a fun truck, runs great. Now I also know he probably would have enjoyed if I, put someone else in front of a camera, got him crying, but I'm not that kind of YouTuber and never will be. I'm not going to force a gift onto someone and expect a reaction. I've been the receiving end of that, where people who never had any desire to be on camera were forced onto camera. It's not fair to them. I can promise you, the gentleman is astronomically appreciative, and you guys watching allows me to do things like that, even if you don't see the reaction on camera. Trust me, it made a big deal. But that's gonna wrap it up. We're gonna get back to our normal projects again. I keep saying that, and then simple things totally derail us. We've got a quick roadblock episode. We've got the conclusion to our Land Cruiser, and then, yes, we've got some floor pans and hopefully control arms eventually showing up. We're gonna make some progress on stuff. We're gonna get them running well, I hope. But I'm Jared, reminding you guys to always make questionable choices and do good to others. It makes you feel good, makes them feel good, and it makes the world a little bit better of a place. We'll see you next time.